Hey guys, DB right here, and today I'm continuing with What If Sailor Moon was in Dragon Ball Z? Continuing on exactly where we left off. You know how this works. Well, fact of the matter is, with all these heroes, the Sailor Starlights, the 5 Sailor Guardians, and of course the 4 Outer Sailor Guardians and the entire Dragon team, there's more than enough heroes to take up the hyperbolic time chamber for the next 10 days during the Cell games. Now that Gohan and Goku have now ventured out themselves, Gohan and Goku in their Super Saiyan forms and keeping it that way for some reason, apparently Goku has some sort of plan in mind, but he's not sharing the information for some reason. But Vegeta does get it right away. After all, being in their Super Saiyan forms means they're able to push for more power without exerting all the energy to power up in a Super Saiyan in the first place. So, definitely ingenious. Vegeta, of course, doesn't want to be left behind, so he wants another day in the chamber, this time all to himself. Now, not that he's slipping back to who he used to be, because remember, Vegeta's actually pretty chilled in this part of the timeline, much like he is in Dragon Ball Super. Which is probably going to be good when we get into the next arc, but that is the next arc. And so, well, with Gohan pretty much flying away and them spending the next 10 days at home, Chibiusa wanting to go with him, but no, Chibiusa is doing this training as well. She will go in there with Mamoru when it's their turn, and it'll be Usagi and Rei. I think Rei would be the best choice to go in there with Usagi, because Rei is really good at pushing Usagi and getting her to dig deep. Much like with Piccolo training Gohan at the start. During the Saiyan arc. Uranus and Neptune will train together, of course, and well, which pretty much means you pretty much got Army and training with Jupiter. After all, Jupiter is definitely one of the more warrior-type Sailor Guardians, while as sharp as Army Mizuru is, her stats as a warrior can definitely use some work, and who better to do that than Sailor Jupiter. So, with that pretty much leaves Venus training with Taiki, who is pretty much against this, but Venus is pulling her by the arm. You know how Venus gets with the free lights. Even though they're the Sailor Starlights, and yes, they're women, it doesn't change anything there as far as Venus is concerned. And we know Venus is kind of the really wild one out of the Sailor Guardians, which pretty much leaves Yaten and Seiya. That's it, Seiya, training on their own. Well, pretty much Goku has pretty much just realized, hey, you know what? We need a new Guardian. There's no more Kami. And well, since Goku doesn't have instant transmission in this timeline, you're probably wondering, how is he going to get to Namek? Well, like I said, it's Chibiusa and Mamoru going in first. So, the 5 Sailor Guard, which means Sailor Moon and her friends haven't gone in yet, which means they can use the Sailor Teleport in order to teleport Goku to King Kai's place, and then use King Kai's abilities in order to track out the new Namekians, and then they would teleport there again, and he recovers Dende just like in the original anime, and they come back. So there we go, new Guardian solved. Day 1, Goku leaves the lookout to go spend time with his family, and he's back the next day looking for a new Guardian of the Earth. Unfortunately, Piccolo and Kami cannot unfuse once they've fused. So, you pretty much got Mr. Popo, Dende, and the princess from the Princess Kakiyu, I think her name is, or Kakia. Something like that. The princess from the Starlight's planet, basically all playing Guardian at the moment. And well, they're able to restore the dragon, no problem. And Goku is off on his mission to collect them, much like he does in the original story. And then pretty much everything from now to the Cell games pretty much follows a lot along with what happens in the original timeline Dragon Ball Z, except with some Sailor Moon and Sailor Guardian fiascos every now and then, them being silly. However, I will say this. After all the Sailor Guardians have had their turn inside the chamber, they all decide to continue their training back down on Earth, secret, even away from Usagi, who's right now catching up with Mamoru. I mean, after all, she hasn't seen him for 3 years. He had been, as it turns out, had his starseed taken and was essentially dead for 3 years. So there's a lot of family time to be caught up with Sailor Moon, Mamoru, and Chibiusa, who is of course a bit older than Mamoru last left her. And so now, what exactly are the other Sailor Guardians working on? Well, that's just a little secret that I'm not going to reveal until the Cell games begin, which we're pretty much going to time skip to that now, because the rest is pretty much filler anyway, with Gohan's adventures. And so, with that, the 10th day finally arrives. Earth has selected their own champion to represent them in the Cell games, the winner of the last 2 Tenkaichi Budokais, Mr. Satan. Hercule. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say Mr. Satan on this channel. Unlike, yeah, anyway. So, just like in the original anime, since Hercule just won the last tournament that just went by now, Hercule has been selected as Earth's champion to represent Earth in the Cell games. And so, well, much like the beginning of the Cell games, pretty much goes like it does at the start. Now, is Perfect Cell in his Sailor Perfect Cell form? Why, no, right now, Cell doesn't even think he really needs it. Especially not to dispatch of weaklings like Hercule and his pupils. So, just like in the original, they are beaten relatively easily, and Goku is then forced to step up into the plate to battle with Cell, and the battling pretty much goes on like it does in the original, with pretty much Cell clearly being the winner of the 2, powering up a huge Kamehameha to fire at Goku. But the thing is, Goku doesn't have instant transmission to evade the blast this time, so Vegeta actually powers up to Super Saiyan and pretty much gets Goku out of the way in the blast in pretty much just the nick of time, and luckily the blast didn't blow up the Earth. Vegeta, why would he be helping Goku? Well, remember that Vegeta, like I keep saying, he's more like the Vegeta he becomes in the Dragon Ball Super timeline. He's already gone through all these changes. The influence of the Sailor Guardians have more or less sped that up. So Vegeta can recognize when Kakarot is not gonna defeat the enemy on his own, and step in and help him. Which, I guess in tournament rules you'd call that a disqualification. But either way, Goku was gonna quit the match anyway, and just like in the original, he picks Gohan to fight Cell next. And you can imagine the battling with that pretty much goes much like it does in the original anime. Gohan showing promise, but not the heart. So Cell is going to have to motivate the boy a little bit as he decides to then transform into, for the purposes of this what if, his Sailor Perfect Cell form, thanks to him absorbing Sailor Galaxia in the previous part. So pretty much, with Cell standing there, "Come on, Gohan, don't you want to show me what you're made of? Doesn't this power make you want to challenge me?" You know, trying to play on that old Saiyan instinct. You know, the same weakness Vegeta has. But it's not affecting Gohan as much because, well, Gohan just doesn't like fighting. He'll try and end things peacefully if he can. And well, since that's not going to work, alright then, very well, you leave me no choice. Just don't come crying to me if your friends are all dead. And so, Cell begins spitting out some Cell Juniors, or in this case, Sailor Cell Juniors, who come out, each of them basically doing sailor poses. Like there's one doing the Sailor Mars pose, the others doing Venus. You get the point, and so on. And needless to say, there are more Cell Juniors there are this time because there are more heroes to distract and beat up. Okay, children, have fun. And so you get Cell, who's the Cell Juniors, who are just beating everybody, because after all, they are roughly in the same class of power as Cell. Definitely strong enough to beat the likes of Goku and the others. And so it's definitely not looking so good. However, much like in the original, Android 16, yes, don't think for one second I forgot about Android 16. Android 16 was still brought over to the good side and reprogrammed and all that. So, you pretty much got him trying to interfere, and he tries to blow up Cell like in the original, except that, of course, Bulma switched off the detonator in case 16 decided to switch sides again and kill Goku later or something. And so, you pretty much ends with 16 being blasted to pieces, and Cell saying, "Okay, enough playtime, you can kill them all now, children." And even the Sailor Guardians, they're barely being able to hold on fighting these Cell Juniors. Tuxedo Mask, same problem. Everyone's on the same boat here, at least at this point of the story. So with that, Hercule pretty much is asked by the head of Android 16 to throw him so he can talk to the boy. And you know what happens from there. 16 gives him this speech that Cell is a monster intending to destroy life. Please defend this world that I've fallen in love with. And well, with 16 smashed into pieces, it actually does work, just like in the original, and Gohan begins powering up. hitting the full Super Saiyan 2 and begins to turn things around on Cell. However, not quite as easily, because remember, he's in his Sailor Perfect Cell transformation. So Cell still has a bit of a fighting chance, but not much, because Gohan is still as ruthless as he is at this point in the original story. But every now and then, Cell is getting a hit or two in Gohan. It's just more of an even battle. And we eventually get to the point where Gohan hits Cell in the gut so hard, he ends up perking up. Now, not only does he perk up Android 18, Lucky Krillin, he also perks up Sailor Galaxia and her Starseed, that now ventures back into the body in the now purified Sailor Galaxia. Because remember, she's no longer bound to chaos, so she's one of the good guys now. And she's unconscious like Android 18, so don't expect her to be much help in this battle. If you're thinking we're going to get an epic Sailor Galaxia kills Cell moment, oh no, I'm saving something even better for that. But sorry, Sailor Galaxia fans. And well, with Gohan taking way too much time to kill Cell, he must suffer. Gohan's Vegeta's showing, basically, and Cell decides to blow himself up along with the rest of the planet like he does in the original. But wait, how are they going to stop Cell? Goku doesn't know instant transmission. Oh my god, we're gonna die. But don't worry, because you remember that secret technique that I told you the Usagi's friends were working on? That Sailor Mars, Jupiter, Mercury and Venus were working on? They were working on a 4-person Sailor teleport. Thanks to the training they all got in the hyperbolic time chamber, expanding their powers, especially their raw power and energy, they might be able to fill the gap that Sailor Moon usually fills in when they do the teleportation. So, this way, the Sailor Guardians can fulfill their duty of saving the planet and protecting their Princess Serenity at all cost. They then gather around Cell, holding hands, each of them looking back at Usagi, thinking back something wonderful, like Army's thinking, "It's because of you, Usagi, I was able to make friends. If it wasn't for you, Usagi, I wouldn't have met any of you guys." Sailor Jupiter. "You brought us all together." Sailor Venus. "Usagi, I know you can do this. You are stronger than you know." Mars. Their final thoughts. Usagi, of course, crying and on her knees. The Starlight's sort of comforting her, and Pluto, Saturn, Uranus just can't believe the sacrifice they're making, and they're the only ones with this ability to do this at the moment. So with that, they're teleported, and just like what Goku did, it's on King Kai's planet. "What? No! No! You cannot do this to me again!" And well, Cell blows up. He takes Sailor Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus with him, along with King Kai, Bubbles, and the rest of the house. And, well, we are made to think that this is now all over. Usagi is crying. "That's okay, we can bring him back with the Dragon Balls." But wait, DB Rai, wasn't Mars and Jupiter already brought back? Yes, they were brought back by Porunga, but not Shenron. So Shenron theoretically should still have the ability to restore them, because Shenron didn't grant that wish. Porunga granted the wish to bring back Mars and Jupiter when they died during the Saiyan arc at the beginning. So Shenron should be able to restore them. Plus, if not, it's a space trip to New Namek to use their Dragon Ball. So either way, the Sailor Guardians are coming back no matter what. And at this point, I really think my theory on Shenron being able to grant the wish would work. So that cheers her up somewhat, but then there's this big sudden surge of evil power, of something very familiar. In the name of Zero, I will kill you all. And he fires a Frieza-like death beam through Trunks, and gets a pretty nasty hit on Vegeta like he does in the original, and pointing another shot directly at Sailor Moon, Sailor Starfighter, aka Seiya, gets in front of the blast and shields her and Mamoru. And don't worry, Seiya's not dead. She's just gonna be out of it the rest of the fight. Ha 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 ha. Surprised to see me? I know, so am I. It turns out only one insignificant cell is enough of mine to regenerate, and because my body went through the whole Sailor Perfect Cell experience, I was restored to my Sailor Perfect form. And thanks to having the DNA of the Sailor Guardians and witnessing their Sailor teleportation technique firsthand, I was able to learn how to do it myself as one being. So I guess you're just out of luck. I am ending this game once and for all. With him flickering a bit of his energy about in an attempt to finish off Vegeta, because, well, Vegeta just happens to be the closest, Gohan ends up injuring himself, rescuing him again, and which forces Gohan to have to basically face off with Cell on his own, with a one-handed Kamehameha against Cell's fully powered Kamehameha. However, Chibiusa will not let Gohan face this alone. And so, she herself powers up and fires her own Kamehameha, something that she learnt off Gohan all these years hanging out with him. She has learnt the key attack passed down ever since Grandpa Gohan's day. Kamehameha! You got both Gohan and Chibiusa's Kamehameha powering up enough that it is holding Cell's Kamehameha at bay. Remember, he's more powerful because he's also got in his Sailor Guardian form. If that's all you got, kiss your planet goodbye! And with everyone else, remember Goku's alive as well, also powering up a fully charged Kamehameha, which is keeping everything about even, but Cell, oh no, he's pushing further, and it's gradually beginning to close in on our heroes. Everyone else chipping in, trying to fire special beam cannons, Krillin's own Kamehameha, Vegeta's final flash, trying to try get Cell's focus distracted, but it's not working, and it seems pretty hopeless. But here comes Usagi, who's standing by Gohan, Chibiusa, and in tears, she thinks about her friends, everyone else this monster has killed, and her just thinking about the horrors that future Trunks had to face in his timeline. No, for the sake of this world, all of my friends, and all the friends we've made in this conjoined universe. I will not fail! And her moon insignia begins glowing. The silver crystal appears before him and begins glowing. Suddenly, everyone is being supercharged by the silver crystal, and Usagi herself is also undergoing another transformation, something beyond her eternal form, which is her final form in the arc. However, there is a form beyond that, something we have seen before. Those of you who have seen Sailor Moon, read the manga, or the reboot, yes, Usagi Tsukino is no longer Sailor Moon. She is now Neo Queen Serenity, complete with her new moon rod. And her adding her power into the Kamehameha, it is now way overpowering Cell, who is now being swept away by the blast. And now the end is near. And Cell is vaporized there on the spot. All his cells destroyed. He is not coming back. Sailor Perfect Cell is dead. And it was a team effort. It took the power of everybody to stop him. But especially a supercharged courtesy of Usagi's latest transformation was definitely a big help. So with that, they are at the lookout and undo all the damage that Cell has caused, including restoring the life of the Sailor Guardians who lost their life earlier during the battle, sacrificing themselves. And well, we have now entered a new era of peace, except poor King Kai's off wandering Snake away on his own. Don't worry about that, King Kai. Next year I'll get the Dragon Balls again and I'll wish for a new planet for you. Which, I'm just going to say this right now, he does do. Goku does do. And well, we now begin to enter a new era of peace. A time skip for the next 7 years, and that is where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this arc and how it concluded? I know we stuck more to Dragon Ball Z, but that's because we're, you know, kind of out of Sailor Moon arcs. But I hope with the little twists and turns I pulled him on in the end, I was still able to make the Sailor Guardians relevant for this part of the story. And hopefully I still can in the next part. So, don't forget to leave your comments below and like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys again next time. Catch you later.